Alright, here we are with some Monster Hunter Rise. Tomorrow there will be a fighting game video, but just for today I wanted to do another one of these. More specifically, this is a lot more hours after yesterday's video. Yesterday's video I was just fighting the starting monster, but in this video I'm fighting a monster that's a good amount of hours in. And I wanted to include this monster specifically because not only did I think this monster was pretty sick, this monster took everything for us to kill it. This was the first all-out fight we had in this game. This monster was not... This guy was no joke. This guy took everything we had, pretty much. So, yeah, I think it's a pretty interesting fight, so... Here it is, and I think this monster is pretty entertaining to watch. I can't lie. So I also want to give my review on the game because I've been playing the game a lot. Over the weekend, I have logged 25 hours onto the game, maybe a little bit more. So I have not gotten to end game yet. So yeah, but. I just want to give my review on the game overall, because if you haven't played the game, like me, you know, I barely saw any gameplay on this game since it came out in the past 2 years, because I figured one day I would be able to play it. I never expected it to come to console, but yeah, it did. So, what... Let's just get into it, okay? Most people played Monster Hunter World. Monster Hunter World sold a lot of copies. So, most people are probably familiar with the last game, and also, that's the only other Monster Hunter game I've played, Monster Hunter World. So, what does Monster Hunter World, you know, what is that like compared to this? Well, number one, you can obviously see. Alright, and this might ruffle some feathers here, okay? But I'm gonna say it because this is truly how I feel. This game looks better than Monster Hunter World, right? And you're probably like, bro, are you blind? And I'm gonna be honest, this game just has a better art direction than World. This game has way better colors than Monster Hunter World. So even though the game looks graphically worse than Monster Hunter World, the colors, it just has a lot of colors and they really like pop. Like, see, this guy started glowing red. Like, it's just cool. He got that blue sword and then the hit effects. It looks very good. And if you ever do a 4-player hunt and you have 4 people and 4 dogs attacking one monster, it just looks crazy. There's just so much going on. Yeah, it's a better looking game than World in that regard. But off of pure graphics, obviously it is not as good as World. But I don't really think graphics matter that much nowadays. That's just how it is. I'd rather have a game that looks like this than a game that looks like, you know, The Last of Us, right? No, not dissing Last of Us, but, you know, it's a very realistic looking game. There's not a lot of fun in its colors, I guess you could say. If you play the game, you know what I mean. Like, it just looks so good. Like, the way... I don't know why I'm describing this to you. You can see it. You know, the map is a very nice... You know, for a snow map, it's pretty colorful. My character is colorful. The attacks that come out of my weapon are colorful. The monster itself starts off dull, and then you can tell he's angry because he gains this, like, color. It's just cool. See, like, now he's gray. He's not angry anymore. Yeah, it's just cool. So overall, you know, the graphics, pretty good. Now, if the game had this art direction with the graphical power of Monster Hunter World, it would look absolutely insane, right? Like some Street Fighter 6 type of stuff, it would look absolutely insane. But we only got one and not both, so I'd much rather have better art direction than better graphics. That's the way it is. Yeah, overall, pretty good looking game. I'm sure the Switch version looked absolutely abysmal, but the PS5 version was upped. The resolution is higher than the Switch version, and it's 60 FPS. You can also do 120 FPS on the PS5 version as well. Overall, yeah, pretty good about that. Game has some nice customizable graphic settings. But right now, what you're seeing is the best that you could possibly make it look. I don't think you can do 4K 60. I think you can do 1440p 60, but I'm uploading this video in 1080p. So, yeah. I don't know if you can do 4K 60, though. But yeah, game looks good, and it does support HDR. I do not have HDR on, though, because that would mess up the video. So, it does get even more colorful with HDR. But, yeah. So enough about the graphics, you know, I wanted to talk about that first because I felt like, you know, one of my, it's something I was thinking about because, like, someone that I know was saying, you know, how hideous this game looks, and I really don't think this game looks that hideous. And they were talking about World looking better, and I know that this person particularly did not really play Monster Hunter World. So, yeah. If you look at both games, you can clearly see this game has a way better art direction, at least, at the minimum. Anyways, yeah, I just wanted to cover that. Because, I mean, obviously, visuals are what you're going to be seeing the entire time, so it's important. Now, let's move on to combat, okay. Let's move on to combat. Combat from Monster Hunter World Iceborne has been completely improved here. There is no more Clutch Claw, meaning you don't have to tenderize parts anymore. Yeah. You can still do it. Like, if you break a part, that part becomes permanently tenderized, you know? But I'm pretty sure that's in every Monster Hunter game. I'm not too sure, though. But, yeah, you have to break the part first. But you're not going to be sitting here, climbing up on this guy's face, doing an attack to make him weaker for your whole team, and then just doing it on repeat for every single fight. They got rid of that. Instead, they added movement. This game has movement, so you can run up any surface. You can literally run on any surface now, no matter what. Like, straight up vertical surfaces you can run on. You have a dog that gets you around quicker. Yeah. And you have these wire bug attacks, which you can see at the bottom. I have 2 right now. 2 wire bug uses. You can use these to grapple. You can grapple in the air. You don't have to grapple onto something. You can straight up grapple anywhere. You can grapple onto invisible floating air if you wanted to. Or you can use it to recover out of an attack. Or every weapon has special moves that use these wire bugs. You just saw me use 2 right there to get away and heal. Like I said, this fight was really tough for us. Obviously, I do want to make a little disclaimer. This footage is very old. I had about 5 hours or 6 hours on the game when I recorded this, and now I have about 25. So, obviously, footage is a little old, but I didn't want to skip anything, and also this was the fight that really was like, okay, this is Monster Hunter, because the fights before this were pretty easy, I ain't gonna lie, but this was the first one. We used, like, literally all of our potions. I don't know if this guy is even hard, but at this moment he was. But I did go back and get his full armor set because it looked cool. But yeah, game is great. And like I said, I only played World and this game. So if I say something stupid, it's because I'm not familiar with the other games. But yeah, game is good. Combat. I have seen some complaints on the combat about this game, saying that literally you can't fight any monsters without doing wire bug attacks. Now, I just want to say the only weapon I've used for more than an hour is Charge Blade, and I've used it the entire time. And I can see where they're coming from, because the Charge Blade has 2 wire bug attacks. One of them is kind of useless, and I haven't tried the other one yet, because you can unlock more wire bug attacks and choose what you want. I haven't really unlocked the other ones. But the one I'm using now is a parry. And I don't know if you can change Charge Blade's attacks. You might not be able to. But yeah, one of them is a parry that you do using a wire bug. And if you know how Charge Blade works, you have to fill those little bottles under my stamina bar. And then you can transform your sword into an axe. I see that parry right there? That parry fills all the bottles and turns your sword or your axe into the saw. So not only does the parry fill everything for you instantly, it also revs up your saw without you having to do it manually. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. And I would say that right now, it is absolutely mandatory for you to use this attack. And I get what people mean when they say that it seems that wire bug attacks are absolutely mandatory. But in the longsword's case, the longsword just had a move from Monster Hunter World just changed to a wire bug attack. So, like, of course it's mandatory because that attack was mandatory in Monster Hunter World. It's just that they moved it to a wire bug attack instead of something you could just do normally. But I'm not too familiar with Charge Blade in World, so I don't know if there was a parry that just literally fulfilled all the requirements of your weapon immediately. But has it taken away from the combat for me? No. Not yet. It's not like ruined the combat for me. And I will be switching to other weapons. It's just that, you know, I've just been playing the game with Charge Blade. Yeah, you know, it's hard to switch off of a weapon, you know, in the world. It is hard to switch off. Once you've been playing one for so long, you don't really want to switch. But I will be switching. I have about 3 weapons I want to use. But I will always play Charge Blade. But I do want to play Switch Axe, Heavy Bowgun, and maybe Dual Blades or Greatsword. But yeah, overall, I don't think the combat was ruined because they took away Clutch Claw. So if anything, I think the combat was literally improved. No matter, even if the wire bugs may simplify what you have to do a little bit, they look really cool. And, you know, I like it better than Clutch Claw because Clutch Claw was like, man, it was a cool idea, but I mean, you had to do it. You literally had to do it on every single monster. And yeah, you have to do the wire bugs on every single monster, but it doesn't automatically, at least for the Charge Blade, it doesn't automatically make you win because you have to make sure you use the reward that you get wisely. So, overall, I enjoy the combat changes, and I think it is better than World, combat-wise. Monster variety, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, and I do want to make this clear, Monster Hunter World is one of my favorite games that I've ever played, right? but monster variety in World was garbage, okay? And here's the thing, it was my first Monster Hunter game, so I didn't know what was really out there. But 85% of Monster Hunter World monsters are dragons. This game completely changed. I mean, look at this guy. A guy like this would never have made it into Monster Hunter World. This man has a sword, and then, you know, halfway into the fight, he gets 2 swords. Like, he's just cool. And I don't know what he is. He looks like a bear. I don't know. But he's cool. And this is the case with the entire game. I would say, in my 25 hours of playing this game so far, I have fought about 4 dragons, maybe 5. So, good. That's just good. I don't think there's much more to say here. Of course, the game has dragons, but they are not the majority here. The majority is more stuff like this, unique monsters that just do some crazy stuff. Yeah, monster variety is better. Well, way better. So I don't think there's that much to say there. I don't think there's much to say because World had a bad monster variety. They were all very unique and very cool, but they were all dragons, okay? For the most part. You know, but you got some things like the Rajang and the Kirin in World that you know, it changed stuff up a little bit, you know, add a little spice to the game. But it didn't do that much because I mean, I think the Kirin still counted as a dragon, funny enough. I think, if I'm remembering correctly. But yeah, also what you're seeing here is another new mechanic that they added to the combat, but I don't know if I wanted to mention this in the combat part because this doesn't replace normal combat, it replaces something else, being able to control the monsters. And what I will say is it's better. So yeah, monster variety, I'm just gonna glance over that because it's way better in this game. There's not much to say. You would have to play the game, but what I'm telling you right now is that you will not be disappointed. Yet. Yeah, I want to make this clear because I have encountered something very worrying in my playthrough, and I can't lie, this is the most disappointing thing I've encountered in my entire playthrough. So, you have to kill about 5 monsters, right? You get 5 new monsters to kill. You kill these 5 monsters, you level up once. You kill another 5 new monsters, you level up again, right? Here's the problem. High rank starts at level 4, okay? So level 1, 2, and 3, every time you level up, you're given 5 new monsters to fight. But here's the thing that's worrying. When you finish level 3 and you go into level 4, which is high rank, you don't get any new monsters. You have to fight 5 monsters that you already fought. Okay, you know, and I don't, like I said, I don't know if this is normal in Monster Hunter because I'm not familiar with the other games, but it does have me a little concerned. So after you beat the 5 monsters in Hunter rank 4, you go to Hunter rank 5, and you fight 5 more monsters that you've already fought. So I'm a little worried, because so far, it's been 2 levels of not a single new monster showing up. And that's kind of disappointing, right? But here's the thing. Hunter rank 5 is not the max. Hunter rank 7 is. So I still have 6 and 7. Maybe 6 and 7 are just filled with new monsters. I don't know. But I do know that there is more monsters, because obviously there's the event quests and stuff, like the stuff they added after the game came out on the Switch version. So I know there's more monsters. It's just that, is there more monsters in the story? Like the base game? And we'll have to see. But that does got me a little disappointed. So, at my point in the game, I have not found any new monsters for a good 2 or 3 hours, and I fought about maybe like 34 monsters or something. Not a bad number, but a little concerning. But like, I don't remember if World was like that, and I don't remember if the other games were like that because I never played the other games. So that's all I got to say about that. Overall, it hasn't taken away from the game, though. I don't think it makes the game a bad game or anything. Just slightly annoying, because I want to see new stuff. But it be how it be. I mean, I know the reason why they do it, though, is because when you get high rank, the monsters drop new materials than they did in low rank. So, obviously, that's why they did it. It's just that, I wish they would have made them optional or something, I don't know. But, anyways, not that big of a deal, but it is something to be concerned about. Well, maybe not concerned about, but, you know, it's something you should acknowledge. And the last little thing that will... This is not a bad thing at all, but it might make you be like, why would they do that? And that is, they removed turf wars. If you don't know what turf wars are, there would be a monster, right? And then you're fighting this monster, and then he encounters the other monster that's on the map. And they fight each other, right? And these usually had a giant, expensive, big animation, right? They would do some crazy stuff. Like, for example, if the Rajang fought a Rathalos, which is a dragon, and the Rajang is a monkey, he would do monkey things, and he would jump up into the air and grab his tail and slam him down. It was just sick. They were very high quality, hype animations. However, they were completely useless, okay? They didn't do anything. You're sitting there watching this crazy animation, right? But you can't do much during it. The animation doesn't add much to the game. They were extremely cool, but they got rid of them. However, the monsters still fight each other. So, when a monster encounters another monster in this game, they will fight each other, and they won't do any special animation. They'll just do their normal attack animations. But whatever monster gets hit first becomes rideable. So you can now get on the monster that got hit, and you can literally... There are combos. And the monsters control similar to Smash Brothers, where it is a direction plus an attack, and that will give you a different attack. There is a light and a heavy attack. Yeah, pretty sick. And then after you hit the monster about 4 or 5 times, you get your ultimate. And then every single monster also has a special ultimate. And it does tons of damage too. It's not like Turf Wars, where Turf Wars would say it did like 1,000 or 2,000 damage or something crazy, but in reality the monster wouldn't really, they wouldn't really act like that much damage was done. I don't know. But in this game you can really feel the difference that it makes. It really messes them up. It looks a lot less cooler because, you know, it's not like special animations or anything. It's just that you're controlling the monster and you're doing his normal attacks, but you know, you're the one doing it. And you know, you're moving him around and stuff. There's no like specifically built animation for these 2 specific monsters to fight. But it's a lot more fun because you're the one doing it. You know, it's not like some crazy, you know, cutscene that's happening mid-game or something. So some people might dislike that and some people might like that. I actually like that better because it just adds more to the game. Even if it doesn't look as cool, it just adds, yeah, it just adds to the game. Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's about it. I feel like I covered everything that I really wanted to cover. You know, music is good, all that stuff. Here's what I do want to say. Obviously, I'm not in endgame yet, and endgame is a big part of Monster Hunter Rise. But I remember when Monster Hunter Rise came out, there were a lot of people saying that this game's endgame is nowhere near as good as Monster Hunter World. Okay. Here's what I do want to say. If that is true, it's not a big deal because on the PlayStation version and the Xbox versions, the ones that just came out, the expansion for the game is not out, okay? So, yeah, it's not that big of a deal because even if endgame is not that good, right, by the time you fight all the monsters and by the time you have a build that you really want for every weapon that you want to play, the DLC is going to be coming out very soon because they already confirmed that the DLC is coming out in the spring. There's only about 4 months left in the spring, so you're not going to be waiting very long. It'll take you probably about a month to get everything that you want in the game and to really experience it. Maybe even 2 months for some people. And then by that point, the DLC will literally be out already, or it will be coming out within a few weeks. So, even if the end game sucks in this game, literally you don't have to wait long for an entire new expansion. And if you don't know, at least, I've never seen the expansion, but based off of the expansion in Monster Hunter World, it's literally a brand new game that's just added into the game normally. So, yeah. And another thing that if you don't know, this game is free on Xbox. If you have Xbox Game Pass, this game is free. So you better play it. If you're on PlayStation like me, the game is still only $40 in the US at least. It's only $40. So you're not getting ripped off in any regard. You're getting... I mean, the last time I felt like my purchase was this like worth it and I got every bit of my dollar's worth was Elden Ring. So, yeah. And this game is $20 cheaper than Elden Ring. I don't know how much the expansion is going to be. I believe Iceborne was $30, I believe. Or maybe $40. Yeah, I don't know how much the expansions are. So just keep that in mind that if you do want to play the game, you will be paying some money for the expansion. Maybe $30, $40, but the expansions are just as big as the normal game. And the game is still getting updated. It's still getting updates. I don't know, because obviously the game already has all the updates. The PlayStation Xbox version have all of the updates that the Switch version got. But the updates only go up to when the DLC came out. So we obviously don't have the expansion, and we don't have any updates that came out after the expansion. We just have every update leading up to the expansion. So, my one worry for this game is, this is very important, so listen up. My one worry for this game is that when the expansion does come out, will we immediately get all the updates and get caught up to the Switch version? Because we got all the updates already for the base game, but when the DLC comes out, will we get the updates for the DLC and be caught up with the Switch version? Because if I'm not mistaken, I don't think the PC version did. I don't know. And not to mention, the game is still getting updates on Switch and PC. The game is not dead. This is not a finished game. It still has a roadmap and everything, right? So when the expansion comes out, will we be caught up to that roadmap or no? Because the PC version of Monster Hunter World was about 5 months behind, I believe. 5 to 6 months behind the console version. So will the console version be 5 to 6 months behind the Switch version? I don't know. We'll have to find out. And that will be very disappointing, because honestly, there's no reason for that to be a thing at all. But we'll see. Like I said, the base game already has all of the updates already. So, good to know. Good to know. I just want to say, I don't know if they've already clarified that, by the way. They might have literally already said that the games will be caught up. I don't know. But if they haven't, I just want to put that out there. That man got absolutely just sneaked, by the way. Yeah. Overall, my score of the game right now, and I have not reached endgame, is... I mean, it's a 10 out of 10. Because Monster Hunter World was a 10 out of 10. And this is Monster Hunter World. But so far, it's better in every way. So... yeah. I do wish that one day I'll have a chance to play all the other games. Because I'm very curious if this is the greatest game series ever made. Because... everyone says that Monster Hunter Rise is good, but it's not the best Monster Hunter game. And everyone says that Monster Hunter World is good, but it's one of the worst Monster Hunter games. And if that's the case, then how good are these games? Like, because if Monster Hunter World is one of the worst, it's literally one of the best games I've ever played. So... I mean, this seriously must be the greatest game series of all time. I don't know. Yeah. I'm excited. I'm just excited for more. Like, subscribe. I'm gonna have fighting game stuff tomorrow. And yeah, peace.
I'll put this